Halloween night had come to the small town of Longdale, and it arrived with a shroud of thick, eerie fog that blanketed the streets. The air was charged with anticipation as children, their faces painted ghostly white and dressed in costumes ranging from ghouls to witches, gathered in groups, their eager chatter mixing with the distant howling of the wind. Among them was a tight-knit group of friends: Emily, the fearless leader with a penchant for adventure; Max, the science geek who had a tendency to overanalyze everything; Lily, the artistic soul who had a deep fascination with the supernatural; and Noah, the skeptical voice of reason. Armed with their pillowcases and flashlights, they had a reputation in Longdale for seeking out the most haunted and spine-tingling adventures every Halloween. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the town, and the fog thickened, making the familiar streets appear ethereal and unfamiliar. The Halloween atmosphere was further enhanced by the houses adorned with eerie decorations, carved pumpkins, and eerie, flickering jack-o'-lanterns. As the night settled in, the children embarked on their annual tradition of trick-or-treating. The first few houses offered the usual assortment of candies and treats, and the sound of children's laughter echoed through the deserted streets. However, as they approached the end of their street and turned the corner onto Hawthorne Lane, they stumbled upon a sight that would haunt their memories for years to come. A looming Victorian mansion stood before them, casting an intimidating shadow over the fog-covered street. It was a place of mystery and dread, known locally as the Hawthorne Manor. Longdale residents spoke of the house in hushed tones, regaling tales of hauntings and unexplained disappearances. Its ominous presence was enough to send chills down the children's spines. However, daring each other to approach, they couldn't resist the allure of the mansion. It was a rite of passage in their little town, and every Halloween night brought a new crop of brave souls. Emily led the way, her fearless demeanor inspiring the others to join her as they approached the mansion. They mounted the crumbling stone steps leading to the mansion's front door, which was weathered and decayed. The fog seemed to thicken, as if warning them of what lay beyond, but they ignored the sensation. Their anticipation was electric, a mix of fear and excitement. As Emily raised her hand to knock on the door, the very atmosphere seemed to change. The air grew colder, and the fog swirled ominously, congealing into ghostly, shifting shapes. It was as if the night itself was trying to dissuade them from entering the mansion. Undeterred, Emily knocked on the door, the sound echoing in the dense fog. They waited in eerie silence, the mansion's facade exuding an air of somber foreboding. Just as they were about to turn away, the front door creaked open, revealing a dark interior shrouded in cobwebs. "Trick or treat," Emily called into the darkness, but no one answered. The children stepped inside, their flashlights casting eerie beams that barely penetrated the gloom. The air inside the mansion was damp and carried the scent of decay. Dust-covered furniture lay hidden under tattered sheets, and faded wallpaper clung to the walls, peeling and peering into the room with long-abandoned memories. As they explored further, they came across an ornate mirror hanging ominously on one wall. Its surface was covered in years of grime and neglect. Lily couldn't resist stepping closer, studying her distorted reflection. But her excitement turned to a gasp of terror as she saw a figure standing behind her in the mirror, a pale, ghostly face with hollow eyes staring intently at her. Panicked, Lily turned away, and the room seemed to spin around her. The ghostly figure she had seen in the mirror was not present in the room, but she could still feel its spectral gaze. A sense of foreboding washed over the group. As they attempted to regain their composure, they heard the sound of whispering voices and faint footsteps emanating from the corridor. The chilling whispers seemed to almost form words, and the footsteps echoed nearer. Their flashlights quivered in their trembling hands as they followed the eerie sounds, the sense of dread mounting with each step. The corridor led them to a half-open door, and Emily slowly turned the tarnished brass handle. The door revealed a decrepit nursery, its walls adorned with faded and torn wallpaper. In the corner, an old rocking chair moved gently as if someone had just vacated it. The room was heavy with an unshakable silence, and the whispers they had heard seemed to grow louder, now almost forming words. The footsteps in the corridor echoed as though they had drawn closer. Noah, the resident skeptic, approached the rocking chair and stopped it with his hand. As he did so, a frigid breeze blew through the room, extinguishing their flashlights one by one. In the pitch darkness, they felt the atmosphere grow heavy, as though the very air had thickened with tension. It was then that the whispers became voices, eerie and ethereal, echoing from all directions at once. The spectral words were incomprehensible, yet laced with a malevolent tone that sent shivers down their spines. As they fumbled in the darkness to find their flashlights, they saw shadows moving in the corners of the room, ghostly figures approaching them, their hollow eyes gleaming in the darkness. Panic gripped the group, and they stumbled over each other in a frantic rush to reach the door. But just as they were about to escape, it slammed shut with a deafening crash, sealing them inside the haunted nursery. The malevolent voices grew louder, and the ghostly figures closed in, their hollow eyes gleaming in the darkness. The children screamed, their voices echoing through the mansion, their cries of terror accompanied by the eerie whispers that surrounded them. Halloween night had taken a chilling turn, as the children discovered that not all the horrors of the night resided in their costumes and decorations. In the heart of Longdale's most haunted mansion, they had become part of a legend, their own eerie disappearance a grim addition to the town's ghostly folklore.